Today you will be completing warm-up 9 and 10. Start first by dividing your sketchbook in half, and we're going to label 9 at the top and 10 in our lower section. So for 9, you're going to be creating a stacked cylinder, and you're going to stack 3 together. So we'll start at the top, and we're going to put our dots. We'll pull our small arc for our ellipse above and below. We're going to do true vertical, and then we will pull the curve that matches this curve down below. From the base of those straight lines, we will put a dot coming out and a dot coming out, and then we'll pull an ellipse. And I'm going to do the bottom one first, and it should be sort of like the same distance as it passes in front of this lower one, but it's going to be bigger. And then I'm pulling an entire ellipse so that this cylinder can be sitting on it. So this ellipse has to go around the back, and I can pretend like it's pulling through and coming down on this front side. What I don't want to do is I don't want to pull this into these points here. So we're going to just make sure we do true vertical, and we're going to do the same curve here, down below, and then from these true verticals we'll go straight out on the bottom, straight out on the bottom. So if we could do a straight line from the base of those lines out, that's where our dots will be. And then we're going to pull our bottom ellipse first, and then we're going to be making the matching. So I'm sort of looking that I have the same distance here and the same distance here, like above this line as below, and then true vertical. We'll do our bottom curve to match this. This is our third cylinder. And then I'm going to erase these lines. These are just guidelines. Helps make sure that my eye is drawing the correct size ellipse. Then I'm going to do ground line. I'm going to put the ground line sort of near the top on this edge, and I'm going to pick up my pencil. I drag it across. And then I have to do extras. So that's only the first step. Then you've got to add extras. And I'm going to make mine into just the cake with the scallop top. I'm going to do scallops on each layer. You have to do the extras to get full credit for the drawing. I'm going to put some candles up top. Make them look like they're lit. Okay, so that is drawing number 1. Now let's do the second one. For the second one, we're going to be drawing a cube form, and it is going to be a little bit collapsed. So let's start first, though, by establishing the top. So we're always starting with that dot. We're going straight across. This one's not going to be huge at the top, but we want to give it some distance. And then the middle, up and down. These are tighter together. And then once I have them laid out, I'm going to get rid of those lines, and I'm going to pull the angle, and then I'm going to do the same here. Make it matching, angle. That is the most important shape of this whole thing. If you have this, you can actually pull off the rest. So the next thing is you're going to do this front edge, and it is true vertical, but I'm going to make it look like it is slightly sort of collapsing or bent a little bit, like it's wavering a little bit. So this is not going to be a hard-sided cube. This would be more like maybe a carton or something that has some flex in it. This angle must repeat at the base so that this is going back in space. Same thing here. This angle must repeat here. So if I dragged my pencil straight down, it would be on the same angle. All right, so next we are going to do a ground line. So let's put our ground line somewhere here. And at the top, we're going to do an ellipse because we're going to make it have an opening at the top. And then we'll show the inside edge just on the far side. If this side we can't see, but this far side we can see into it, and I'm going to darken it some on the inside, showing that I'm looking down in, and as we go into it, it's getting darker as I go inside. And I'm going to put a label on the front, so I'm going to angle back. This should follow the same angle. Angle back, that's our directional lines. Then I'm going to do a cool looking M, because I guess this is going to be a milk carton. You could put your own initial if you want on there. And I'm making sure that at the top it's following that top edge. On the bottom it is following these bottom lines. Okay, now I'm going to shade this side. So I'm going to just shade with my pencil, line next to line, and I'm going to go the opposite way to level. Okay, I'm going to pick up the edge, and I'm going to smooth that with my blending stuff. So even though I'm using a regular number 2 pencil, it's just a basic wood pencil that you buy at like a grocery store, it's an HB, and you will be able to blend using your blending stump, and you can use a smaller one if you want. And then when I do the cast shadow, so my light source is here, my cast shadow is following this line. I just extend it down. I'm not dropping it down. I could continue this line. And then on the other side, it's going to follow the same angle. I'm going to put my cast shadow there. And then I'm going to add an extra. So it could be that I'm adding this straw. So in here, they're showing us, and actually I'm going to erase a tiny bit here. And I'm going to draw a straw coming out. It's going to go up. It's like a crazy straw. And it's going to pass behind. So as it passes over this, I've got to erase where the straw is sitting on top. And I'm going to actually have it come out here, and it might even loop back. So it's going to do this and loop back around. And then I'm going to have it come out on this side. So it's going to come from the back. I'm going to draw a small ellipse at the end, and then I'm going to make it look like it's puddling something. Now, where it passes over this background line here, because it's sitting in front of that, I'm going to erase that so it looks like it's sitting in the front, and then give this so it looks like some liquid. And that is it for warm-ups 9 and 10.